It's time for Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears, with your hosts, Alex.
Gosh, I have so many questions. Also, where's my car?
Splash.
Strive to love something as much as my grandmother loves buying new crock pots.
And Mac.
If you've ever been to Boston, you know that they have amazing ice cream.
Coming to you from coast to coast, it's L-A-R.
Hello, friends and everyone. Welcome to another edition of Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears. I am today's host, Alex Clark, joined by our very own $1 cash considerations in Mathias Kurosaki and Ryan Splash Potts, my main men, on this very hot and muggy Wednesday. How are y'all doing? You guys staying cool?
Yeah, honestly, it's not too bad here. It was like 700 degrees when I was in Georgia, so it's only like in the high 80s or so in New York, so it's fine. The Nets won 4 in a row, but they lost on David Wright Day, so that's kind of an L. I'm doing all right. I will be in Alex territory in a couple weeks. Going out to Federal Way, Washington for Summer Nationals, so you guys get me next week, and then I'll be away for the following week. But yeah, I'm just, same old.
So if you're going to be in my territory, why would that make you gone?
I'm gone sometimes,
Hey, you could do a live show.
Dude, yeah, we could do a live show.
Yeah.
I
could do a live show from Bristol. You guys do a live show from Seattle.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, okay. That could be our live trade deadline show. Kidding.
No.
Although
they'll be past the
it'd be after the trade deadline.
That is true. That is true.
I fly to Seattle on August 5th.
Ah, yes, right when I get back, or just after I get back. So I've been staying cool. Even my head has been staying cool because I haven't been turning the Braves games on. They've been just getting wrecked. It's like wake up and they're down like 17 runs. It's like, okay. You just flush it, move on to the next day. So yeah, no bueno. We could use a $1 starting pitcher. We'll take one of those. I'm tired of these bullpen games. It's Strider days, Grant Holmes days, Bryce Elder, and then it's like a carousel of 2 winning guys. And the 2 winning guys are like peak Mariano Rivera. And then the other 7 innings are what you think of when you think of position players. It's just batting practice, man. And
the bulk pitchers are always scary thoughts because it's normally normally a minor league pitcher or something like that, and it's like, yeah.
And it's not even great. It's like they haven't even been bulk guys. It's been like regular relievers. So that you'll have, I believe his last name was Weems. He started against.
Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan Weems.
Jordan Weems. I think he pitched like 5 innings. It was like great. It's like, oh, wonderful. The Braves are leading. And then the Braves allowed 12 runs in 4 innings to the Yankees. So yeah.
I hear that's a bad idea to do.
Yeah, that's how it's going right now. That's how it's going.
So I went to the game, Mariners game 2 days ago. By the way, they lost 10-2 today, so that's always fun. But I was at the game where George Kirby was throwing a no-hitter through 5 in the third. And I'm like, okay, this is looking really good. Yes, it's 0-0, but Kirby's pitching amazing, and base hit, to where they gave up, I think it was 4 runs in the span of 15 minutes. So it's really hard to win a baseball game when you can't hit and your opponent decides to hit. So
he went to the Hayden Birdsong method. Birdsong started the game Monday with 4 walks, a hit batter, and a bases clearing double.
Well, you can't win if you can't score, just an observation.
Also true. This is very
that goes
true.
for like every sport, if you wouldn't believe it.
That's how the Mariners did win yesterday off of a 1-0 game with the 1 run coming off of a solo dinger from, take a guess who? Cal Raleigh, my boy.
Yeah, look, I'm just saying, I turned on the game
win
5 seconds before that happened, so
yeah. So we have to.
I am the reason the Mariners won that game.
Just as I am the reason Corbin Carroll is good again.
Exactly. Yeah, from your KOD. Yep. Fair enough. Anyway, so Corbin Carroll, actually, I'm glad you brought him up here because he has been in some talks, not as much, mind you, but his team has been in a lot of talks talking about the trade deadline that is coming up in just over a week. I believe the day that this gets posted, it will be exactly 1 week here.
Correct.
From tomorrow. Again, we record these a day in advance. You guys know this by now. So we thought it would be a little bit of fun for us to make some trade deadline predictions here, because as we all know, the trade deadline day itself is full of chaos and all that, but the days leading up to it, there's usually some pretty big moves too. Here, so we want, before too many more big moves get gone here, we wanted to try and figure some of these out. Here, try to make our predictions. Obviously, Rafi Devers was an exception because that happened way early. But so what we're going to do here, and I will fully admit, this is an idea that is taken from John Boy Media here, where they do a trade deadline draft. Where
they do a free agency draft too, actually.
Free agency draft too. That's what made me first think of it. But what they do here is that they take turns picking a player and what team they think they're going to go to. They get one point if the player does get traded, and then a secondary point if they get the team correct as well. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing here. We are going to do a 5-round snake draft here, as Splash, if you would not mind getting the graphic up for those of you, again, losses above replacement on YouTube. You can see the graphic that we're talking about. If you're listening to us on Spotify, hey, cool, give us a good rating. But we'll try to explain it as much as we possibly can here. We have currently on the screen here all 30 MLB teams here, 5 rounds, and each of us in the draft order that we're going to be going in. The draft order, we determined it before the show, is going to be me, with Mac having the second pick and Splash having the turnaround pick. It's turnaround because it is a snake draft here. So with that all being said here, the only restrictions we have on this is that once a player is drafted, they cannot be drafted again. For example, if you were to say Garrett Cole gets traded, I'm just making a random player here. Garrett Cole gets traded.
Very realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Gets traded to the White Sox here. The next person could not say Garrett Cole, even if it is to a different team. You could not say Cole. At that point, he's off the board here. With that, do you guys have any questions, anything we should clarify before we start this draft here? Or are we just ready to get moving and grooving? All right.
I think I'm ready to go.
All right, so then I will go with my first pick, and I don't care. I'm doing because there's been so much talk about it. I want it to happen so dearly. Give me Eugenio Suarez getting traded to the Mariners, bringing back the good vibes. I feel like this is just a match made in heaven here. I think that he's already said that part of his heart is still in Seattle here, and Seattle needs a corner infielder. Like Ben Williamson, he's done well, but you can't argue with the stats that Eugenio has done this year, and the fact that he already has so much chemistry with this team. I feel like this is just a match made in heaven, especially with the depth of prospects that the Seattle Mariners have.
Yeah, that was one I had on my board. Realistically, I think the Mariners need a bat. Badly at a corner infield position, so it makes a lot of sense. Suarez is probably the most sought after rental bat in years. Probably not since like Cespedes or JD Martinez, maybe. Like he's a big time trade candidate. My only question is how much are teams going to be willing to pay for a guy who might be off your team in 2 months?
That's the big issue here. Yeah.
And the Diamondbacks, I know the Diamondbacks opened the second half by sweeping the Cardinals. They just got swept by the Astros, so I feel like they're probably pivoting towards selling. But
it's still not guaranteed that they are going to sell. But personally, looking at it,
seems kind of likely.
It seems very likely, especially in the division that they're in here. I don't feel like they're going to overtake at any time soon, and I don't think they have enough to make a run, but they have a few good pieces. And this may or may not be the last time you see the Diamondbacks on the board.
Yeah, so I'll go second here. I've said this early in the season. I'm going to go with Felix Bautista. I'm going with the Phillies. The Phillies, I mean, they've outperformed my expectations at least. They're tied with the Mets atop the NL East. I mean, probably by the time this video or this episode ends, they'll probably be back in first place. But their bullpen, I mean, it's like a revolving door at that closing spot, and it seems like nobody can get the job done. And Jose Alvarado will not be available for the postseason because he failed a drug test earlier this year. So Bautista, the Orioles are not contending this year. I think it's pretty clear now. They're not coming back. And Bautista, and there's no point in really hanging on to him, I think. So I think the Phillies and Orioles match up pretty well here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, you took a Diamondback. I will take another Diamondback. I'm going to take Mitch Keller. I'm not 100% sure.
Mitch Keller's a Pirate.
Not Mitch Keller. Merrill Kelly. Yes, Merrill Kelly. So wrong Kell name. Merrill Kelly. But what team acquires Merrill Kelly? Give me the future World Series champion Boston Red Sox, baby. You already have Crochet at the top of the rotation, but their rotation outside of Crochet has not been great with Buehler and Bayo and Giolito, and Hunter Dobbins is out for the year. Go get a secondary pitcher. Go get a guy who has done it in October. Go get a guy who delivered some big innings for Arizona on their way to the World Series 2 years ago, which still seems like a fever dream. So I have Merrill Kelly to the Red Sox, and this is an awkward spot to have the back-to-back picks.
Early in.
I
I don't know how much let's talk about this pick for like just a second. Here, right? I'm not sure how much I'm not sure what Boston's going to do. Like, I think
they're buying.
I think they can buy, but I'm not as sold on it yet. I mean, to be fair, I do think it's extremely likely that they do here. But what is the package for Kelly going to look like is my question.
Not Christian Campbell, because he's been atrocious.
And also, it's another rental, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
And it's a guy who's in his late 30s. So
it's got to be it's got to be a cheap one. Yeah.
You're getting like a mid-tier prospect, I think.
You're not a top 100 guy.
No. You're getting probably a guy in the 15 to 20 organizational range.
I was about to say that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, and like teams don't really trade top 100 guys nowadays, at least what it feels like. But I'll stick with a pitcher theme here, and I'll actually do Mitch Keller this time.
That was next on my list.
Yeah. Mitch Keller, you are a Los Angeles Dodger. This is a team that can always use more pitching. I've talked about it before. That do I exactly trust them to have contenders for the Cy Young, for example? No, there's a reason for that. Shohei Ohtani is still coming back, and he's pitching in 3-inning blurbs. And that's all fine and dandy, and you don't want to stretch him out too much and stress him out too much. So getting an extra arm, having a guy who obviously hasn't pitched in the playoffs with the Pirates, that's a Bob Nutting issue. But having a guy that at least should be generally a level 3 arm. Obviously, he wouldn't be the number 3 on the Dodgers necessarily, but a guy I think who would be a good potential swing option because the Dodgers do have that depth of talent. A guy who can work through a lineup once or twice, I think, in a playoff setting. And even as you advance towards the playoffs, you have to accrue innings here. You have to eat up some innings. I think Keller can do that, and Keller can do that at a high level, and he can get some wins. So if you care about win-loss record, you better hope Keller gets traded to the Dodgers.
Yeah, his win-loss record doesn't look pretty for the old school people who still care about that statistic. I know people were up in arms about a guy with a 4-8 record starting the All-Star game. Yeah, that's totally an indictment on the pitcher, not his team. You took a Pittsburgh Pirate I'm going to take another Pittsburgh Pirate, and I actually am going another guy who I think will end up on the Dodgers. I'm talking about David Bednar. It hurts my soul to say the Pirates would trade a hometown kid like Bednar, but there is basically no reason to keep him. I know they just don't let him get hot. They swept the Tigers this week, but there's no reason keeping him, really. And also, he's already 30. He's going to turn 31 this October. And the Dodgers, their entire pitching staff is just taking a beating when it comes to injuries. And they just lost Tanner Scott, who was their closer. So I think Bednar matches up perfectly for them. And they have enough depth on the farm where they don't have like a top-tier farm system, but they have enough in there where they can make a trade without sacrificing like their top guys. So I think Bednar, the Dodgers, it seems like it makes a lot of sense.
It does, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of teams that can use relief help this deadline.
Every contender, every year.
But the thing is with Bednar, again, you're getting another fairly older guy here that you're not quite sure what you're going to get out of him. Are you going to get prime Bednar that was an absolute legend as a closer, or are you going to get the one that has trouble being a middle reliever?
The one who got sent to the minors earlier this year?
Exactly.
To be fair, he's been unhittable since he came back to the
Exactly.
So
I think it's very possible. That's what I'm saying here. So I'm going to go with my next one, and I'm going to have a little bit of fun because I have back-to-back picks here. And I'm going to make a proclamation here with mine. I'm making another trade for Seattle, and it's the same trade as the first one. Give me Naylor to Seattle. Here, I think there's a very realistic chance that we see the Diamondbacks do a two-for trade on this year in order to get a big prospect from Seattle. Seattle does need help at the corner infield positions here. Donovan Solano and Luke Raley Solano's gotten better. I'll give him that. But I also like Luke Raley a lot more as an outfielder and can play first base if needed. I would love to have just a stalwart guy like Naylor there, and Suarez over at third base I think would make perfect sense here. Plus, Seattle has the prospect capital to make a trade like this happen here. Plus, if they're going to make it happen, it's going to be in a package. I feel like that may be what helps Seattle get over the hump on making a trade with this is going for the both of them. So then on my next one, I'm going to go with kind of an odd direction here. Sorry, Splash, but your Braves are trading away someone. And I have them trading away Sean Murphy.
Whoa.
Murphy getting traded to the Detroit Tigers. I think this makes perfect sense for them. Right now, they've got Jake Rogers, who I'm not saying anything bad on that, but when you have a chance to get a guy like Sean Murphy, who is a bona fide catcher in that lineup here, I think this trade, the more I looked at it, the more it just made sense to me. So at this point, trying to get a franchise catcher is hard. I'm not saying Sean Murphy is going to be a franchise catcher, but the big thing, why this makes at least a little bit more sense here for the Braves, you got some guy named Drake Baldwin who's doing pretty good. And do you really want to have both of them in the lineup at the same time taking away reps from one another? It doesn't work as well. And if you're not competing this year, you might as well get a big haul for Murphy.
Counter, my upcoming pick will be traded. I was going to say, if you hit on a double trade, like Suarez and Naylor to Seattle, if you hit on any like Arizona sends two players to Seattle, I'll let you win. That's fine. Sean Murphy just took that off the table. That Murphy's not getting traded.
I think it's highly unlikely. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, we'll see.
I'm not going to say it's out of the question, because also there are plenty of teams that I'm sure would go crazy for, a catcher like Sean Murphy. But I'm not sure I see that happen because of his club control.
We've seen the Braves, they just called up Sandy Leone, so you have a third catcher, and they have been comfortable having Murphy and Baldwin alternate as catcher and DH. The player who shall not be named, hasn't been at DH. So the problem had been when that player had been really good and had been contributing at an all-star level, you were blocked. You couldn't have both Baldwin and Murphy in the lineup at the same time. But when he's hitting like 122 since June 1st, then yeah, you can have a red-hot Murphy and a red-hot Baldwin in the lineup at the same time and still bet them behind Ozzy Albies for some reason. Thanks, Brian Snifter.
So
I think it's possible, so I'm saying. And
yeah. I don't know about Detroit either. Diegler has been productive this season.
Yeah, I will say Detroit is kind of they're in a slide right now. They've lost 9 of 10. They could just look for a spark. It's really the lineup that's let them down. I know Casey Mize got hit around yesterday, but I mean the lineup is the reason why they're in a slump right now. So I think I could see them targeting a bat. Maybe it's Murphy, maybe it's someone else. But I'm going to stay in the AL Central. My next guy getting traded, I have Luis Robert, and I'm going to send him to the Mets.
Really?
So basically the one area that David Stern said he wants to improve upon in the starting lineup is center field, and they're in this position where Jeff McNeil is hitting enough. He's actually his OPS is over 700. And he's playing a decent amount of center field, but it's a new position to him. So it's not like he's a natural in center field. And then there's Tyrone Taylor, who's an excellent defensive center fielder, but he can't hit a lick right now. He's in a terrible offensive slump. He has hit 2 home runs this year. His OPS is below 600. And I think, Stern said in his press conference on Monday that there's a bar they'd have to clear in order to consider really upgrading center field. So I think Robert is the guy who I think that bar is high enough. He's playing much better lately. He had a really, really bad month of April, but his OPS is near 800 ever since. So I think Robert, the Mets trade a couple of mid-tier prospects to get him.
I'd be interested to see that, just if anything, because of all the drama that was going on last year around the deadline and Robert. So
yeah, I also think it's another change of scenery guy. I think if he goes to a contender, I know I keep making this reference, but when Jazz Chisholm got traded to the Yankees, I had a feeling he would break out. And look at that. Other than his home run derby performance, he's been really good. So
I was going to say, definitely broke something.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Fair enough here. All right, Splash, hit me with your next pick.
All right, boys. The player who shall not be named, Ozuna from the Braves. Thank you for your service. The big bear, the big fly. I think he'll be taking his big fly talents to the San Diego Padres. I know some rumors have been quashed here a little bit, but let's look at this like logically. The Padres have gotten minimal production out of DH this year. The only team that has worse of a wins above average out of their DH this year is Colorado. Gavin Sheets, Luis Ariz, Machado, Trenton Brooks, Luis Campusano, they've taken some plate appearances there. It hasn't been particularly productive plate appearances there. I know Ozuna's been a little cold of late, but I think he'd be reinvigorated with a better team. And at the very least, he gets on base, so that helps, and you can drive in runs that way. You have the Machados and Tatises, and if Luis Ariz can at least drive a guy in if he's on second base, right? So there's something to consider there. And my second trade here of the back-to-back, it is Seth Lugo from Kansas City to the Chicago Cubs.
Ooh.
He was on my board.
The Cubs.
Okay.
Listen, I know they're probably not going to spend in free agency, and Kyle Tucker is inevitably going to go to the Mets or Dodgers, so then I will never watch baseball again. But I think the Cubs should make a push to win the World Series this year. This is a really, really good baseball team. They are one of the tied with Milwaukee as the best record in baseball entering play today, ironically enough, in that division. But they could use another arm. Matthew Boyd has been unbelievable. If it wasn't Skeens and a runaway, Matthew Boyd could be in the Cy Young, like the Cy Young consideration. But the rest of the rotation has been up and down or has been on the IL. So go get another arm. Go get a guy who has a gigantic repertoire, and maybe he beats the Mets in the playoffs or beats the Padres in the playoffs. That would be pretty funny, at least from my perspective.
I think Lugo. I mean, Lugo is also a guy I've considered. I could see him going back to one of his old teams. Really, because I know the Mets don't necessarily need another rotation arm, but say they move Clay Holmes back to the bullpen or something like that, they could use a guy like Lugo. And he's been. That's the crazy thing is I wasn't sure I trusted that he would develop into a viable starter, but he's turned into a workhorse. I mean, he threw over 200 innings last year. He's averaging around 6 innings per start this year. So he's an attractive trade candidate to a lot of contending teams. I'm going with the guy who I think another American League guy, another rental, kind of a late bloomer here, kind of like Lugo there. I have Ryan O'Hearn as my next trade candidate, and I have him going to the Mariners. It's a tough. The tough thing with O'Hearn is that he is in a bit of a slide right now. He hasn't been quite as good as he was those first 6 weeks of the season or so. But the Mariners desperately need another bat. I think we've made that abundantly clear here. And he can play first base. He can play a little bit of the outfield. So you're looking at a guy who will mostly DH. He doesn't necessarily need to be a platoon bat, but you can also occasionally play him in the field, either at first, either in left field. And I think he kind of checks a couple of boxes for the Mariners if they're really serious about going for it this year.
Yeah, I can see it. I feel like this would be if they figure they can't get Suarez / Miller. I feel
he wouldn't. I think he wouldn't cost as much as those two.
I agree, he wouldn't. My only issue when it comes to it is that when it comes to O'Hearn, you are paying for essentially what has been the last 2 months here. And don't get me wrong, that's not always a bad idea, but it comes down to the price on that one. So for my last 2 picks then on this draft here, I'm going to keep them both from the same team and both pitchers here. So I think the Marlins are going fire sailing because they've been. So let's see what they do here. So the first one here, you can kind of already see where I'm going with this here. So the first one here, we're going to go with one Mr. Sandy Alcantara here. And this may be a bit of a stretch. I think the Yankees go after Alcantara. I think that right now they need a little bit of extra pitching to go along with the offense here. Because at this point, yes, you can't clone Aaron Judge 26 times. So you might as well go and get some players. So I think overall, the Marlins have 2 pitchers. And I'm going to talk about the other one in just a moment. But from this right now, I think that a lot of teams, like you said, are in this a lot of players have this change of scenery mindset here. And don't get me wrong, New York is not a great place to pitch. It's New York. So I don't know how well he'll be able to rebound from it here and to have a bigger second half. But I do think that being on that kind of roster will help overall. And so that leaves the other one here of one Mr. Edward Cabrera getting traded. Now, where does Cabrera go to? I'm going to say that this is going to be an extra pick for the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs need pitching. They need a lot of pitching. Their bullpen has gotten better, but the starting pitching staff needs help. I think they may still also go for Seth Lugo too here, and we'll use Edward Cabrera as a secondary kind of a project piece at that point here. Plus, it's one that they can use to kind of build on a little bit more for past this year if they really want to. But I also think that if Edward Cabrera shows anything like he has shown in minor leagues, all that kind of stuff, you may have a special pitcher here. It's just about whether or not you can bring it out of him.
Yeah, and I'll say this much also: the Marlins are in a weird spot where. So I'll put it this. Also say this. I did have Cabrera going to the Cubs on my board too. But the thing is, the Marlins are in this weird position where they've played really well the last 6 weeks or so. And I almost feel like they are going to hold on to Cabrera because he's a guy who can help them compete next year. I don't see them doing like a full fire sale where they're not going to trade Stowers. I don't see them trading guys like him or Norby or Ramirez, but I can definitely see them moving some of their arms. Cabrera's actually been good this year. It's not just his MLB The Show card. Like he's nice.
You got me on that one here. I still get nightmares about that card.
Yeah, that card. I remember when he first debuted, they showed his MLB The Show attributes on the broadcast,
that was
just because of how good it was.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, if there's anybody that like understands their fan base at that point, it was those editors. Like everyone was hyped for Eric Cabrera, and I'm pretty sure that at least 25% of that was because of MLB The Show.
Yeah, so it's one of those situations where you're looking. It's a high ceiling guy, but it's high risk, high reward kind of. But the Cubs, like you guys have said, need all the pitching you can get. So I can see that, and I think Sandy's almost a slam dunk to get traded. I know that he had a good outing today, so his value went back up a little bit. He's having a rough year, but I mean, I feel like at this point, I'm surprised he was on the Marlins to begin the season almost. Like,
yeah.
So my last pick. This is incredibly unlikely, I think. I'll just say that. This is my bold one. Because this guy already said he would not waive his no trade clause. But everyone says that until they waive their no trade clause. The Minnesota Twins, I don't think, are contending. All right. I do not buy that they are a contending team. Really, they should probably just hit the reset button and sell. Byron Buxton is my player, and he is going to the San Diego Padres. All right, I know the Padres have been linked to Jarren Duran, which I'm not 100% certain that'll happen, but the Padres need offense. All right, their offense is not necessarily cutting it this year. I'm pretty disappointed by Jackson Merrill's performance, not just because I have him in 2 fantasy leagues, but I mean, coming off that excellent rookie season this year, he just hasn't come close to replicating that. And Buxton's having the best season of his career. So I think San Diego will be willing to part ways with and the Padres have a pretty deep farm system. So I can see San Diego parting with multiple top prospects to get Buxton. He's under club control. This is not just a move for this year. It's a move for the future. So I think the Padres break the bank here and they go get Buxton.
I think that is a very, very bold pick.
Yeah, I'm not
especially
saying
considering that for Buxton this year he's actually been moderately healthy. Like,
yeah.
I'm banning both of you from ever participating in these again. You're taking away my Sean Murphy and you're putting Byron Buxton on the Padres. Come on, man.
I mean, at least I don't know you do of actually taking us off of the stream.
Darn. All right. Well, I'll wrap us up. I have another center fielder. I have another team and player or team and position. No, team to team. That's the word I'm looking for. Team to team trade that we've already seen before. It is 1. Cedric Mullins to the Philadelphia Phillies. Mullins has been kind of cold at the dish lately. He had a 900 OPS in April and below 600 since. However, I'm abiding by the Marcelo Zuna school of maybe it's easier to play for a team in contention. And Philadelphia has had, let's call them issues in left field and center field with Max Kepler and Brandon Marsh. And Mullins doesn't exactly help matters because he is so platoon heavy. But listen, Dave Dombrowski made a deal with the Orioles last year. All it seems is that the Orioles have the Phillies bullpen and the Phillies acquired Austin Hayes last season. Well, why not go get another outfielder? I know Mullins isn't particularly good defensively anymore, and his arm has never been a particular strong suit, but he does bring some power. He does bring some speed. I think he would be a useful bat. And even if you are facing a lefty, right, even if you invariably get to the World Series and you're facing Garrett Crochet, right? Well, Mullins can come off the bench and steal a bag, right? He can be a pinch runner type or can play left field or probably can come in and play left field if you want to keep Marsh in center. So Cedric Mullins wraps us out. So, Alex, go through your 5 first.
Yeah. Well, okay, just before I do go through my 5 here, I'll just want to say I love the idea of Mullins getting traded. I think that it's very likely right now. It's going to come down to, I think, though, what team wants to try and bring that 2022 Mullins out. Here, the one of his big breakout campaign. I think it was 22. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, 22. Yes.
Yeah. So and if he does have any feel on that, then I see no reason why he wouldn't.
Edit. It was 21. He had 37 homers and 30 steals. It was an all-star. Yeah, he was good in 22. But not.
Well, I don't think he had 37. Did he have 37?
37 doubles.
30
homers, 30 steals.
Yeah. I know he was a 30-30 guy though, and one silver slugger.
Yeah, next year, 32 doubles, 34 steals, 16 homers. So the power is up this year. The WAR is negative because he's been just abysmal in right, abysmal in center, but generally it's been positive for his career, at least defensive run save wise. So I think there's some element of better team, better ballpark to hit in that Mullins might find exciting. And again, that's a fun team. The Harpers of the world, the Castellanos, what are they called? The dumb nickname?
What?
Oh my goodness. I'm way too deep in the Philadelphia Phillies online culture.
The daycare?
Yes, the daycare.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Horrible name. Bryson Stott needs to be banned from all establishments. But in theory, a fun team.
Yeah,
so maybe
enough.
That'll be invigorating.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So I'll go through my picks then here. My first and second were both to Seattle, as what I think will be the same trade here with Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor to Seattle. I then also have Sean Murphy to Detroit, Sandy Alcantara to the Yankees, and Edward Cabrera to the Cubs. Mac, your list next.
So I have Felix Bautista going to the Phillies, David Bednar going to the Dodgers, Luis Robert to the Mets, Ryan O'Hearn to the Mariners, and Byron Buxton to the Padres. I still, man, I don't even know if I believe that, but I wanted to do one that was kind of far out there.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right. I have Merrill Kelly to the 2025 World Series champion Boston Red Sox, Mitch Keller to the Los Angeles Dodgers, Marcell Ozuna to San Diego, Seth Lugo to the Cubbies, and Cedric Mullins to the Philadelphia Phillies.
One thing that's fun I'm noticing, like as I'm looking at the draft here, all of us had something that the other that two of us did one thing that the other person did not. For example, I did not pick anybody going to Philadelphia or San Diego. Mac, you did not pick anybody going to the Cubs, and Splash did not pick anybody going to Seattle. Here, so
yeah. To be fair, the guy I had going to the Cubs was Cabrera, so
that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense then. But regardless, then let us know what you guys think. Who had the best draft? Who do you think got the best sleeper pick of this draft? Do you guys think that I am just absolutely talking out of my behind talking about getting both Suarez and Naylor? Please let us know.
Maybe not with those, but with Murphy, yes.
I mean, let us know here on the Bird app at LAR_baseball or on YouTube at Losses Above Replacements. But now it is time for everyone's favorite segment. It is trivia time. And for trivia, I hand things off to our one and only Splash.
Hello, friends. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, yada, 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 yada. Today, on the subject of the trade deadline, we are going to, I think, run back a previous segment. I'm going to list the trades a player was a part of, and you tell me who the player was. Deal?
Okay.
All right.
I remember this one, yeah.
All right. Alex, please pick a number between 1 and 50.
24.
All right, Mac.
28.
It was 49. Mac, you may go first.
Let's go. All right. I will receive.
All right. These are going in reverse career order. So from most recent to furthest back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Traded by the blanks to the blanks for Tony Sanchez.
I'm gonna need. Oh,
okay.
No, I'm gonna need another.
Okay.
I know which Tony Sanchez you're referring to, but yeah.
Yes, this player was traded 4 times. So trade number 2.
Okay.
Traded by the blanks with a player to be named later to the blanks for Carlos Porterondo and Andrew McKirahan. The blanks sent Kevin Franklin to the blanks to complete the trade.
Yeah, I'm gonna need another.
Well, here's the thing. I thought we were at least still had the trade also going on with it.
Yes,
no, like the team. I mean, sorry, the team, because otherwise, I feel like I'm already very lost.
Okay, this player you're more likely to get it here, and the next one in particular. We can adjust on the fly if needed.
Yeah.
Traded by the blanks to the blanks for a player to be named later. The blanks sent Jeff Stevens to the blanks to complete the trade. Any guesses?
I'm still lost here.
Not a quit. Yeah, not a
okay.
I know one of the trades, because it was Tony Sanchez, one of them is the Pirates, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But
then last trade, traded by the blanks with Cliff Lee, Grady Sizemore, and Lee Stevens to the blanks for Bartolo Colon and Tim Drew.
I believe this is Brandon Phillips.
Brandon Phillips is correct.
Nice.
Let's go. That last trade gave it away, yes.
Yes. All right.
Oh, wait, the Pirates were not at all involved. One of those was the Angels and the Braves, yes.
Yes, that is correct. All right, Alex, are you ready?
No, let's do this.
Oh. Wonderful. I
feel like no confidence.
This is great. All right. Again, in order from most recent to furthest away, this player was also traded 4 times. Traded by the blanks with Kyle Farmer, Yasiel Puig, Alex Wood, and Cash to the blanks for Homer Bailey, Jeter Downs, and Josiah Gray.
Okay, wait a sec. Can you please repeat that? Because I think that's the Reds and Dodgers trading here. But can you please say the trade one more time?
Sure. He was traded with Kyle Farmer, Yasiel Puig, Alex Wood, and Cash to the other team for Homer Bailey, Jeter Downs, and Josiah Gray.
Oh, so wait a minute.
You have 3 more trades.
Yeah. We'll go on to the next one, but I think okay, we'll go on to the next one.
Okay. Traded by the blanks to the blanks for Charlie Culberson, Adrian Gonzalez, Scott Kazmir, Brandon McCarthy, and Cash.
Okay. That means to the Padres? It's either the Padres or the Red Sox. Okay, next trade.
All right. Traded by the blanks with Cash to the blanks for Hector Oliveira.
Next.
Okay. Traded by the blanks with Tim Fedorovich to the blanks for Zach Eflin, Yasmani Grandal, and Joe Wieland.
Yeah, I don't know. So
man, I had that the first clue.
Good on you.
Okay.
Do you have a guess?
Would you like any teams?
I feel like some teams would be helpful, but I feel like I should have known on the first one here because that's the one I felt the most confident in. Was that between the Nationals and the Dodgers?
Dodgers, yes. Nationals, no.
Because I'm like, where did Josiah Gray come from? That's what I'm trying to remember. Here. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, he was traded by the Dodgers to the Padres, then traded by the Padres to the Braves, then traded by the Braves to the Dodgers, and then finally traded by the Dodgers to the Reds.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. This is should have won the MVP, Matt Kemp.
Okay. Yep. I knew from that Dodgers Reds trade. Basically that the Dodgers Padres one with like Grandal involved was kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
kind of the giveaway to me.
a lot of fun names there. A lot of fun names.
Yeah, of course. A lot of stars.
All right, Mac. This player was traded 3 times.
Great.
Most recent trade. He was traded by the Blanks with Mike Fiers and cash to the Blanks for Josh Hader, Adrian Hauser, Brett Phillips, and Domingo Santana.
I already know the answer here.
Okay.
This trade only happened because a trade with another team collapsed earlier in the week. This is Carlos Gomez.
It is Carlos Gomez. He was also traded for J.J. Hardy in 2009 and Johan Santana
For
in
Johan
2008.
Santana, yes. He was the can't-miss prospect who was faster than Jose Reyes, who the Mets ended up trading for Johan Santana. But yes, I remember it was because the Mets, obviously the Mets had that deal for Zach Wheeler and Wilmer Flores. Fell through because of a medical issue. And then, yeah, I think it was a day later they traded him to the Astros. And look, they got Josh Hader in return. Not a bad deal, I would say.
Not a bad deal at all. All right. Alex, are you ready for your next player?
If the last round is any indication, the answer is no, but let's do it anyway.
All right.
Great. I love the confidence.
I have no confidence.
What a time to be alive, boys and girls. What a time to be alive. All right. We are taking a trip. I'm trying to get a guy with three trades, but I lost my order of players. One moment.
It's all good. Yeah, I think with me, I like, especially with a lot of trades here, I need to have at least like a time frame so I kind of know where to start. Because otherwise I just start thinking, oh, wait, this happened to this. Like when I hear some of the players, yeah, I can assume I know some of the era, but even then, like I still it takes
all right.
me.
This is an active player.
Okay.
He has been traded 4 times.
Okay.
All right. He most recently was traded by the Blanks to the Blanks for Griffin Canning.
Okay, so that's the traded from the Angel. Wait, is this Brandon Marsh?
It is not Brandon Marsh.
Okay.
Would you like the next trade?
Yes, please.
All right. Traded by the Blanks with Luke Jackson to the Blanks for Sabine Ceballos and Tyler Matzik.
Okay, Tyler Matzik.
Man.
No idea. All right, move on. Let's move to the next.
Okay. Traded by the Blanks to the Blanks for Casey Kalick.
I don't even know who that is. So, next one.
All right. And for this back trade, traded by the Blanks to the Blanks for Wade Davis.
I've completely lost where I'm at on this, so I'm just going to say I do not know.
All right. So the trades, he was traded by the Cubs to the Royals, then traded by the Royals to the Braves, then left in free agency multiple times actually, then traded by the Giants to the Braves again, and then most recently was traded by the Braves to the Angels.
Traded to the Angels. So that means he's on the Angels now then.
Correct. I was watching this dude play earlier this afternoon.
Okay. Okay. Dude, like playing through here. I really should know this one, I feel. But at this one, I'm just trying to go through like different positions on the Angels, and I'm not getting much. So I'm just gonna take the L. I don't want to hold us up too much more.
All right, that would be Jorge Soler.
Oh, that is Soler.
Yep.
You're right.
I forgot I forgot that he got traded for Canning. They weren't traded together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our cost-cutting moves.
Right.
Yeah. And then Anyway.
All right, we'll do one more round if that's okay.
Yep. That's fine.
All right,
I'm
Mac.
having a great time.
Mac.
The can't reciprocate.
All right, this is a player who is not active but was active as recently as 2013.
Okay.
So, all right. Most recent trade. Traded by the Blanks to the Blanks for a player to be named later and Bill Hall. The Blanks, the second team, sent Miguel Celestino to the first team to complete the trade.
I'm assuming this involves like the Astros or the Brewers or something, but I'm going to need the next trade.
Sure. Trade number 2, he was traded by the Blanks to the Blanks for Adam LaRoche.
Oh, I should know the answer here. That's the problem. I'm going to need another one.
Okay. He was traded by the Blanks with Steven Merrick to the Blanks for Mark Teixeira.
Oh, I have an answer here.
Okay.
Did not realize he was traded for Adam LaRoche. Wow. Oh, wait, yeah, that was that. Okay, it's Casey Kochman. I know
that
the answer.
That is correct. Casey Kochman.
I know that was that awkward week where LaRoche, for some reason, went to the Red Sox, and then the Red Sox immediately traded him to the Braves. And yeah, Kochman was part of that return because I remember Kochman was on the playoff roster for Boston.
Yes, all right.
But I mainly remember him for the Teixeira deal.
And of course, I remember him most as an Angel because of MLB
same.
Power Pros.
I always
he was
remember
nice
him as
on
a
the Angels
Mariner.
for a little bit. Oh yeah, he was a Mariner. That's right.
A little bit of time. Yep.
All right, Alex.
At the end of his career, yeah.
We will wrap us up. Here's a player who was traded twice, and since he was only traded twice, I'll give you the full trade details. First,
is he active still?
He is not active, but he is a not like a Hall of Famer or anything, but like a good player.
He's in the Hall of Pretty Good.
Yeah, I would say like he's like
shout out to the Hall of Pretty Good podcast.
Yes. All right. Trade number 1. He was traded by the Arizona Diamondbacks with Brett Anderson, Chris Carter, Aaron Cunningham, Dana Eveland, and Greg Smith to the Oakland Athletics for Dan Herron and Connor Robertson.
This is the most recent trade you said, right?
This is the furthest. This is the first trade of his career.
We're going in actual order. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get the teams now.
Okay. So then can you please repeat that because my mind was
sure. Traded by the Arizona Diamondbacks with Brett Anderson, Chris Carter, Aaron Cunningham, Dana Eveland, and Greg Smith to the Oakland Athletics for Dan Herron and Connor Robertson.
Just gonna put the first name that comes. Do you mind if I guess between each one?
That's fine.
Brett Lowry?
It is not Brett Lowry.
Okay.
Trade number 2, traded by the Oakland Athletics with Greg Smith and Houston Street to the Colorado Rockies for Matt Holliday.
Oh my. One of the trades of all time.
One of the trades of all time. I know this, but why is it evading me so? Just for my own sake, can you tell me what year this was?
These trades were in the 2007 offseason and 2008 offseason, respectively.
Okay.
So he was traded for Matt Holliday after 2008.
Okay.
And traded for Dan Herron after 2007.
I didn't realize he was part of the Herron deal.
Yeah. Is this...
Yeah, unfortunately, was not playable in MLB Power Pros 2008.
Dang. Is this Coco Crisp?
It is not Coco Crisp. It is a different player who once played center field for the Oakland A's. It is Mac. Would you like to do the honors?
Yeah, it's Carlos Gonzalez.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Mariners legend Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah, Mariners spring training legend. Yeah.
Yes, in the same way that Felix Hernandez is a Braves legend.
So that phrase right there still hurts my soul.
All right.
Good job, Mac. I just got embarrassed. But that's
good job,
all
Mac.
right.
Clap it up for Mac.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that segment, actually. I like doing trivia segments like that.
Yeah,
all right.
That was definitely very creative. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you very much for that splash. But it's now time for our final segment of the day, as we like to end every show with the moment to ourselves. We take a minute, talk about whatever's on our minds. It's not have to be baseball related, but it absolutely can be. Gentlemen, would either of you like to go first? Splash, you look like you want to go first.
Yes, I would, please.
All right, so I'll count you down. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Hello, friends. Once again, football discourse is really stupid. It feels like every day I go on Twitter and it takes me about one swipe to find the worst take I've ever seen. Yesterday's version was, oh, well, pressure rate doesn't matter as an edge rusher. Man, listen. And you already know it's from Steelers fans because the only thing that matters are sacks. But if we say that and the only thing that matters are sacks, then Kyle Van Noy is a better pass rusher than TJ Watt as of last season. If you want to say, oh, well, the splash plays, Watt had more of them. Okay. Then Nick Bonito is better than TJ Watt. How many touchdowns did TJ Watt score last year? 0. Haha. But listen, I know pressure rate and like win rate and things like that are kind of nebulous, and they can maybe not paint the perfect picture, but sacks don't paint the perfect picture either. You are boiling down even like peak TJ Watt when he had 23 sacks on like 450 pass rush snaps in 2021. That's 5% of his snaps, which is insane. But there's 95% of his just pass rushing snaps that he's not getting a sack. But those reps aren't worthless, right? Those reps, he's still winning. He's still making pressure. He's still getting hits on the quarterback. He's still making things happen. And yes, the counter can be, well, if he doesn't sack the quarterback can still throw a touchdown. All right. Well, if he sacks the quarterback can still throw a touchdown the next play. What's stopping him from doing that, right? And I think people love to move the goalposts on the context they provide. So, like, sacks are a perfect way to count pass rushers, apparently. But then, is Kirby Joseph the best safety in the NFL because he had the most interceptions? No. Is Jahmyr Gibbs better than Saquon and Henry because he had more total touchdowns? No. Is James Cook better than Saquon Barkley because he had more touchdowns? No. But your logic is sacks impact games, so TJ Watt is the best. Well, James Cook had more rushing touchdowns, literally points on the scoreboard, not just a stat, points on the scoreboard than Saquon Barkley. But no one in their right mind would say he's better than Saquon Barkley or had a better season than Saquon Barkley. So just understand when we're arguing, just the context is important. This is no different from arguing that, oh, Eugenio Suarez has more home runs than, I don't know, Pete Crow Armstrong. So he's a better player. Well, no, Pete Crow Armstrong, the other at-bats, they matter. He's had a better season. Or this is the MVP discussion in the American League to some degree with Cal and Judge. Yes, Cal has more home runs depending on what day it is. Judge on his non-home run at-bats, or non-home run plate appearances, walks more, doubles more, has more singles. There's more production than just the sack. So TJ Watt is an all-time great player. And even if you took and you gave him like average sack production and he was like, I don't know, 14 sacks instead of 20 sacks, he'd still be one of the greatest players of all time. And his knack for creating splash plays is insane. But just throwing out 90%, 95+% of snaps because he didn't record a sack is really stupid to me, because you can still win a rep. You can still have a productive play. And guess what? Yeah, the quarterback might throw a touchdown. It happens. The quarterback also might throw an interception or might throw the ball into the stands. Do you think the pass rusher should be blamed if he is forcing incompletions or is forcing a guy to throw the ball out of bounds or is forcing things like penalties in the way of intentional groundings or any holding calls? Why don't those count? If you get like choked out and thrown to the ground, that's a penalty. You should get a boost for that, but that doesn't count in your sack total.
Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to like what stats do you value more, right? And
yeah,
it's
that goes for every sport.
Yeah, you gotta just take a good look on more than just one thing.
Yeah, and it's not even like a what stat do you look at? It's just understanding that some stats are the number, like the magnitude of a number matters, right? So like triples, for example, you're not going to have like a 50 triple season. So the amount of triples you have in terms of you being better than another player, to me is pretty irrelevant because it's just like even the number one, like the Corbin Carrolls and Jaron Durans. Okay, you might have 15 to 20 triples in a season. That is such a small percentage of your impact. Like, yeah, you stretch a couple extra doubles into triples. Okay, that's nice. But it's not like those are, as far as I'm concerned, those are similar to defensive touchdowns and the strip sacks and things of that nature that are not really not really conducive or predictive. But if you're winning your rep, more than half the time, or if you're having good at bats, then you're going to have generally more production than someone who is only getting the splash plays, that only getting triples, only getting the weird play that Jeremy Chin had back-to-back defensive touchdowns. That doesn't mean he's the greatest defensive player of all time. That just means he had 2 back-to-back great plays. But sometimes back-to-back great plays are pass deflections. That's not a touchdown, or sacks, but no strip sack, or your teammate recovers the ball or whatever. So there's always context to be added.
Yeah, I get that. All right, Mac, would you like to go next or would you like me to go next?
I'm still thinking, so you can go.
All right, sounds good. Someone count me down, please.
3, 2, 1.
Justin Hollander and Jerry DiPoto. I implore you, please be aggressive at the deadline. This is a team that right now you are having a generational run from the man that I still think is the MVP in Cal Raleigh, and you need to make a splash. And I know it's trying to say that making a splash is more just, shock word talk, but I want to bring up a couple things here. In 2024, you made a few trade line deals, including one of them, the biggest one you made was Heredia Rosarena, who's still on your team and is still playing incredibly well. You only missed the playoffs by 1 game last year. 2023, you were in the playoff hunt, traded away major pieces, including Paul Sewald here, and you missed the playoffs by 1 game. Shocking. And then 2022, you made a big trade. You guys made a big trade to go and get one Luis Castillo, who is still one of your 5 major starting pitchers. And you made the playoffs that year, ending the 21-year drought. I don't see any reason why Seattle should not be aggressive this year at the deadline. Here, seeing what they have in capital in the farm system, as long as you don't go too heavy, I think you're going to be fine here. The few names that I'm most concerned about, obviously, are Durangelo Shinja, the switch pitcher, because I think that can be very valuable if done right here. Harry Ford, I don't know what to make of right now because you now have Cal Raleigh. Fun times. And the other main names are Celestine as well, who has just incredible power here. So I feel like you can make it work. I'm not an executive. I don't know on all that. I'm a reporter. I am a talker. That's all I know here. But one thing I can see here is over the last few years, when you've made that big splash at the deadline, good results have come from it. Yeah.
Reminder also that prospects are not guarantees.
I think we've all been burned by the Jared Kelenic prospect hype.
Well, the Jared Kelenic is one thing, but I remember there was someone, I think it was Bob Nightingale, tweeted earlier about how the Dodgers didn't want to trade Diego Cartaya at all, and they ended up cutting him, and now the Twins just cut him too. So it's like there are so many times where you consider a guy untouchable, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh well, he actually didn't really do much with us. So was it really worth it to not go for the guy who could have won us a World Series or something like that?
Right, and then, but then you have the other end of the spectrum that the Fernando Tatis is traded for James Shields, or Yordan Alvarez is traded for Josh Fields, and it's like Josh Fields would be essentially a no one in MLB history, but he was traded for Yordan Alvarez, who is inexplicably not good this season, which is.
And then there's also I mean, the Dodgers also, I think it may have been that same summer when they traded for Tony Watson and they sent O'Neal Cruz to Pittsburgh.
Ouch.
If you wouldn't believe it, the Dodgers sometimes lose trades. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of losing the Michael Busch deal right now, although they got two really good prospects. Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris are both really good prospects, so we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. All right, Mac, you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
All right, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, the Mets have a new gimmick this year. It's Pablo Sanchez. The other day, the Backyard Sports crew came to the game, on Sunday, and Pablo Sanchez was obviously part of the entourage. I almost wish I had gone to that game instead of Saturday, although the David Wright ceremony was awesome, and I'm so glad I went, and his speech was amazing. It was so great seeing all of his former teammates and his family members were on hand to celebrate him. But Pablo Sanchez came. They do the whole thing with Backyard Sports. They won that game. They just swept the Angels. So last year we had Grimace and the 700 other random gimmicks that they had. This year it's Pablo Sanchez, 4-0 in the Pablo Sanchez era. So Pablo Sanchez is the secret weapon for more than just the Melonheads, it turns out. The Melonheads are, if you wouldn't believe it, I do have a backyard baseball season going. I'm in the World Series with the Melonheads and Pablo. So, that was Pablo Sanchez is the real MVP, man. Don't get fooled by his size. This man can do anything.
So the real question, though, is it the 01 or 97?
97.
You can get the 01's out now.
Yeah, well, the 01's out for it's not available on Mac for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not available for Mac either.
Yeah. And I don't feel like playing it on an iPhone. All right.
I mean, that's fair. You also could just do the sensible thing and get a PC and play on Switch. I was doing Steam.
I was gonna say I have a Switch, and that's what I've been playing Backyard Baseball 97 on. It's kind of goofy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was about to say, how would that even work?
Time. So no, honestly, it's a great time. It's just kind of weird playing a PC game on a Switch, but I got the hang of it after like a couple games. I'll say that.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. But I think that's going to do it for us here today at Losses Above Replacement. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you go and follow us on the Bird app at LAR_baseball. You can also follow each of us individually. You can follow me at the Sports Guy 242. You can go follow Mac. There we go. I got the pointer right this time. Back at Mathias_A_K. And you can go follow Splash at Mr. Splashman19. Make sure to also give us a good review on Spotify. We really like hearing your guys' reviews. Send us a comment on YouTube. Send a DM in Twitter. Do anything. We want to hear from you guys. Here, let us know what you guys think. But from all of us here at Losses Above Replacement, thank you so much for tuning in today. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I hope to see you all real soon. Thank you.